Welcome to this week's edition of the Empathic Designer podcast. I'm your host Vaidishwaran. This is the sixth of the seven-part series on performance needs analysis. In today's episode, let us spend some time to understand the impact of the performance environment and its importance for creating a performance needs analysis recommendation. Our performance needs analysis journey so far has given us a good indication about our stakeholders, our audience, the performance gaps, and the actual subject matter. Let us now turn our attention on where our audience get to perform the tasks or processes in question. Things can get more interesting if we are working with a diverse audience. Let's say we are working on an initiative to improve soft skills across an organization. For example, an organization manufacturing automotive spare parts. This audience is diverse, ranging from the workers at the factory floor to the executive members at the corporate headquarters. In addition to their personas, where they work will have a huge bearing on how they perceive this change. The next question should be around why our audience is expected to work where they are working right now. While the answer might seem obvious in most cases, it is worth probing in this direction if our audience analysis points toward issues about their current work environment. If our audience analysis doesn't present a clear picture about this, we can modify this question to inquire about what the audience likes or dislikes about the current work environment and why from the stakeholders' perspective. Stakeholders typically find this question to be much simpler to answer and are generally more forthcoming. It is then up to us to connect the dots. A potential risk while working in this area, especially when we are interviewing a sample population from the audience, is that we might receive inputs that fall under the nice to have realm and might not have any real world impact on their performance. It is therefore critical to analyze their inputs carefully. Using simple tools like a fishbone analysis or the 5 whys will enable us to identify the root cause rather than working with the symptoms. Oftentimes, small and subtle changes could do a great deal of good for the audience and on some occasions be the deal breaker in achieving this shift in performance. While most changes to the work environment, if required, are typically intrinsic, it is important to remember that there could be a number of factors in terms of efficiencies, costs, time, etc., that will play a role here. Make sure you spend time to discuss these points during your meeting with the stakeholders. In next week's episode, we will discuss the final piece of the puzzle, tracking and evaluation. Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of the Empathic Designer podcast. If you like what you heard, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can hit the bell icon for getting regular updates from my channel. As always, if you have any questions or feedback, please leave a message on my comment section below and I'll be glad to respond. Thank you and have a great day.